Welcome back to Standard Living. We purchased this cheap greenhouse 2 years ago off of Amazon, and it's been very beneficial for our starting plants and overwintering plants. And during the last season, this thing turned into a mess. We did a few reviews on this thing. I think we did a 1 year, a 1.5 year, and I can't remember, 6-month review, but we haven't done our 2-year review yet. October would have been 2-year review, but we kind of missed it. We didn't use this last season, so everything in here is kind of jumbled up and melted, and this thing gets extremely hot.
So I love having a greenhouse. It's very beneficial. In Georgia, it's not as needed as in northern because it stays so warm even in the winter months. You can do your winter crops outside. I love having it. However, no, we didn't use it this last season. What I would like is a smaller greenhouse closer to the house, because if you know anything about starting plants, you're spending so much time, you're in and out. It would just make things a lot easier for me. So this is now Chris's greenhouse.
So what we're doing today is I'm going to give you a quick 2-year review of our cheap Amazon greenhouse and how it's fared out for the last 2 years. And this year, we're not using it for plants. We're going to make some money with this thing. And sorry it's a little messy. We're going to be cleaning this up today. We're going to be cutting the grass and the bushes out of here and getting everything cleaned out of it. Because this year, we're going to be drawing some lumber in here. So to start out with, these zippers here, they actually still work pretty good. I think the first season, the little straps that hold these doors up, those things kind of dry rotted, but the zippers and everything seem to work very well. I did put a 6x6 timber frame around the bottom of it to keep it in place, keep the wind from blowing it away. These things right here, now I have noticed, now this just recently happened, is these screens started to fall apart. So I didn't have those locked. I had these little doors rolled up and the sun really set on them and kind of ate them up. So this side, which faces the sun all day, every day, this side faces the south. So those screens started to dry rot this year. This is something that happened in the last 3 or 4 months, other than the one I knocked out with a lawnmower a while back. But the doors seem to work pretty good. Everything else is pretty good. This thing is pretty solid, pretty durable material. It's not dry rotting anywhere else, just those screens. The frame hasn't rusted. It's in pretty good shape. Got a lizard. But this side, you can see the Velcro and nets are, not in good shape on this side. So, okay. Both sides of the nets are starting to dry rot, but everything else seems pretty good. I don't know if that's just pollen on top or is it starting to discolor. I hate to put my finger through it. No, it's pretty solid. But yeah, this thing is pretty solid. It's held up really well, surprisingly. I know everybody had commented before when I did the last review that you probably won't get a year out of that thing. It's a piece of crap, but it's actually done really well. We've had a hurricane, we've had lots of storms. This thing's still sitting here. Our pine timber frames are still in place. They hadn't rotted yet. I did expect them to rot after a few years, but right now they're in pretty good shape. They don't seem rotted at all. They still seem pretty solid, so we're gonna keep what we have here so far, and we will replace those when they do rot out. I'm sure they will eventually. As you can see, things have kind of gotten out of hand in here and overgrown. We had some crazy tomato plants growing in here for a while. Back here in the corner, there was a tomato tree growing all the way up through the roof. It finally died out. I think it was in February when we still had tomatoes on it. But today we're gonna be moving all these shelves and all these little containers and things out of here. We're gonna be cleaning this thing up inside and out, getting it ready to start drying lumber with it. This is gonna be our lumber drying kiln, aka greenhouse. And just for reference, this is a 10 by 26 Yita home greenhouse. All right, let's get this thing cleaned up. helpers. Bonnie's cleaning up in there. I got all the grass cut around here. Now I need to get up against the edges over here. I can't use a regular weed eater because the weed eater string hits the side of this greenhouse. I'm afraid it'll tear it open. So I need to use something a little bit different to get around these edges. And to assist in all this cleanup today, we have this cool 6-in-1 pole saw, hedge trimmer, cutter, 6-in-1 tool by SEESII. They sent this for us to try out, and we're going to give it a little test today and see how well it works out doing this stuff. We're going to have to trim back some of these little trees and these limbs. I got some big limbs here that hang over. Every time you pull through that gate, they hit the top of the tractor or whatever I'm running through there. And we got to trim up some of the stuff around here. We're going to use that small hedge trimmer around these edges so we don't tear the side out with the big weed eater. So this thing comes with 2 rechargeable batteries. We got a charger, all your covers that go on all the blades. We got a shoulder strap, some gloves, safety glasses, everything required. Now we're going to try this grass pruning shears first. These things connect easily to the attachment head here. So this thing has a battery in it here. If we want to put it on an extension, we take the battery off and slide the extension on right there. Makes it super simple and easy. We're going to use these grass shears to go around the greenhouse with it so we don't tear that greenhouse up. Greenhouse plastic with the big weed eater. Now we just install the battery on this end. And there we go. This thing is a massive extension. It's pretty lightweight too. Let's give it a try. Well, they sent us this thing just in time. Kind of like cutting hair. Gotta say that thing's working out pretty good. I'm not tearing up the side of the greenhouse. Oh, that works way better. Well, you got a little more control over it without the handle on it. All right, let's get to the part I really want to try out. I want to try this chainsaw out because I got some limbs over here that are driving me crazy. I need to get those trimmed. I'm gonna cut these limbs right here that have been in my way forever. Yeah. Let's see how big a limb this thing will cut. Awesome. I needed that out of the way a long time ago. Now I do believe this is where this tool will shine. Now this tree is really close to the fence, so I'm going to get rid of the extension and just put the battery in and see how well that works. I don't want to hit the fence with it and destroy the chain. So we do a little precision work here. So we got right against that fence right there. Wow, this tree has grown fast. I Again, this is a SEESII 6-in-1 cordless pole saw and hedge trimmer combo. Now this thing, I think I like the most is a little chainsaw. And it does come with an extra chain here also. That extension does reach out to 15 foot, so you can pretty much reach anything you need to get to with this stuff. This little hedge trimmer works pretty good. We're gonna try that out more on the hedges and stuff around the house. But this is what I'm gonna get most use out of right here is this little chainsaw. Now I'll be using that around the sawmill as well. I'll be using that daily probably. That's going in a truck to stay. Just check out the description. I'll have an Amazon link where you can find one if you want one yourself. And I'll also drop a discount code where you can get 8% off. And I'll be using that all season because I got all those trees and limbs and things around the fence I gotta get knocked down before they take over my fence and tear it down. Yeah, it's a great little tool. If you want one for yourself, check out the description and find a link and a discount code there. Let's get back to cleaning this greenhouse out. Yeah, Bonnie's got this greenhouse pretty much cleaned out. She's got the old planters and plastic trays and stuff out of here. Now I just gotta get all these shelves out. I'm gonna get Bonnie to help me with these. We're gonna pull these all out of here so I can get in here and trim this up and clean it. Wish I could get a lawnmower in here. Now we got all these shelves out of here, and we're going to utilize these in some other form or fashion of greenhouse, up closer to the house anyway. We built these a few years ago when we first got the greenhouse. Makes great planting tables. But here's a look at the greenhouse empty, other than the cardboard in the floor and the sawdust, and all the bushes growing up. And we got a truck bed full of crap that's coming out of the greenhouse. All that's going to be used. All the trash is over there. All right, we're gonna lose daylight soon. It's time to go eat some of Bonnie's good cooking.
After we take garbage off.
After we take garbage off.
Then I have to make dinner.
We'll meet back here tomorrow and clean this thing out and start loading some lumber in it. Close it up just quite yet because I got some pecan I'm going to bring up here and stack along with it. It'll also put some weight on that stuff and try to hold it down a little flatter. I didn't get the weed eater in here because my weed eater gas tank's broke. It's like dumping gas out, so I really need to trim the grass out of here, but I think it'll be fine for now. We just lay some pine boards down. I might lay some more down just to kind of give it a false floor to sit on. It'll help kill some of the weeds and stuff growing in here. Yeah, there's our stack of black walnut. Hopefully I don't ruin it in here, but you live and you learn. I am gonna get some foam board to hang down from the center, kind of a baffle to go over top of this stuff and put a fan in it. That way it'll circulate some of this air a little better. I'll keep those vents open too, so it just gets a little more circulation. I'm not trying to cook it right now because I don't want it to warp all to pieces. We're just gonna let the air flow through here to help dry it out without too much heat to start with. Once these doors close and there's a nice hot day, I know it can get 130, 140 degrees in here real quick. All of our little black plastic planting containers were just completely melted in there. Apparently it gets really hot inside that thing, so we definitely don't want to cook the wood. We don't want it to dry too fast, so we got to get some fans in there before we start closing this thing up and really trapping the heat in. Right now it's got a pretty good bit of circulation. We're going to keep these doors open. It's out of the weather. It'll still get some heat and it'll still get some air flowing through it, so it'll dry pretty quick in there. It already kind of feels dry anyway. So all in all, this little greenhouse is worth the money we paid for. We got a couple of seasons of growing in it, and now we're gonna extend that life on into drying some lumber. I will drop a link in the description where you can get one of these greenhouses for yourself if you wanna try it out. It's great for planting, and we're gonna find out how good it is for drying lumber. Also, I'm going to drop a link for the SEESII 6-in-1 if you want one of those. If you're interested in trying one of those things out, there's also a discount code for that. It's coming in pretty handy so far. I just used a little chainsaw to cut the posts I'm using to stack this lumber on. But that's going to be our video for today. That's our greenhouse slash kiln, DIY kiln. So I'll keep you updated on how this lumber is drying and how it works out. And we're going to be stacking more lumber in it. So hopefully it works out good and we don't ruin this lumber. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. So check out our Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you on the next one.
I love having a greenhouse. I sound stupid.
I like cheese.
Cut that out.